Hey there everyone, this is Joe and welcome to Ainslie's Gold and Silver Standard Insights for TA Tuesdays. Yes, it's Technical Analysis Tuesdays where I take a look at a few of your favorite assets. Of course, gold and silver, they are the standard, but also cryptocurrency as well. Crypto Tuesday, it is at Ainslie Bullion. And so what we do every Tuesday is you get me behind the screen right here and take a quick look at gold and silver plus one of the cryptos. And we're going to look at Ethereum today because that is in the news. Everything you need to know about the ETH merge. That was written by Josh Lang. And if you go over to Ainslie Bullion, I'll put a link below to this specific page. It's all about the ETH merge and what you need to know and what it may potentially do for the Ethereum price. But we'll take a look at gold and silver today, and then we'll take a look at Ethereum at the end. Do you have a specific crypto that you want looked at, or another precious metal, maybe rhodium or platinum or palladium? Head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ainslie Bullion, to hit the big red subscribe button, of course, and then post a comment below on the video you're watching right now for next time. Tell me what you would like to see. Is there, again, a particular crypto you're interested in getting a bit of price analysis on, or another one of the precious metals? Let me know. Of course, this is gold on the monthly time frame, so we're going all the way back to the 70s right here. This is the long-term time frame, and we're using the tradingview.com website, and it's priced in USD. So we'll do a quick bit of gold analysis, a quick bit of silver analysis, and then we'll get onto Ethereum because that is in the news at the moment. Let's take a look at it on the weekly time frame right here. So what you can see here is we've had this double top. Now this is going back to August of 2020, and then we had that consolidation all the way down back to the 1680 mark. It's a big line in the sand right here, 1680. You can see it's been a level of support a number of times, at least 5 times technically, since 2020 of June. So 1 there, 2, 3, a little spike down there, 4th spike there, and the recent little low just there, that's in the middle of July. So definite line in the sand. Will we break it? We don't give financial advice here at GSS Insights, but let's take a look at where the price targets may be coming next. Actually, I'll take a look on the daily time frame just to see where we've gone in the last week, and I'm going to unhide my lines, my support and resistance lines, and a couple of trend lines as well. That's pretty much what I do. If you have some other ideas about great technical indicators, again, put a comment below this video and say, hey, I love Elliott wave, or I think Fibonacci is really good. So as I said, here we are with gold, and we have that peak right there at $2,070 roughly, a big drawdown again to that 1680 USD level, but since the middle of July roughly, a nice little move back up. Now as you can see, it's gone up past, it's broken up above this trend line right here, and it also had the retest. So if you look at that on the daily time frame, what tends to happen, it doesn't always happen, but what tends to happen a lot is when you break a trend line, you break above it, it reaches a peak, and then it comes back to test it at one particular point. Now if I pop down onto the 4 hourly maybe, yep, pretty easy, you can see that. That was a failed breakout move, so you had a fast move to the downside. One of the sayings I like to use is, oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. Now I stole that from someone else, and one day I'll tell you who that person was, but not right now. So oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. So that was a failed move to break above this trend line, or hold the break above, I should say. So we had a fast move back down to about 1750 and a second attempt, and this time it looks like it's held so far. You can see a retouch. So generally what happens if you break a trend line, it comes back to visit that trend line at some point. So where are we? On the 4 hourly, we have a green 4 hour candle right now. Are we heading up from here, or are we heading down from here? Again, we don't give financial advice, but let's look at the price targets up and down. I've actually already have them drawn in. I've been into the precious metals for a long time, actually since 2010 is when I first started buying physical precious metals. And so I've had these charts for quite some time, so these are all previously drawn in. But what you can see here, you definitely call it, if you can see that right there, this horizontal blue line right there, that's another level of support, or the next level of support, I would suggest, around about your $1,760 level. And breaking down through that, what would happen is you're breaking down through this trend line right here. So breaking through that significantly, and I would say if it breaks through 1750, then your next line in the sand right here, that was a previous level of local resistance right there at around about $1,740. Breaking down through there, then I think you're heading down to maybe test this 1680 level again. So the ultimate line in the sand for me, again, not financial advice, is we want to hold this level right here of about 1,740 US dollars. Breaking down through there, I think we would have a test of the 1680 level. Let's play what if game just very quickly, because this is the first TA Tuesday for the brand new Gold and Silver Standard Insights videos. If we were to break through, and I won't do this every single week, but if we break through 1680, what are the next levels moving down? 1680, as I said, it's an incredible level of support, a huge line in the sand, 1680. But breaking down through there, I could see this level right here. Can you see that where that's touched right there at around about $1,620, and breaking down through there, a big level at 1555. I might just quickly go back to the monthly. Again, I won't spend too much time on gold. I'll head straight to silver as soon as I can, and then we'll get to Ethereum, because again, that's in the news. But you can see right there that 1555, you can call it 1550 if you like, big level of support. Breaking through there, now we're talking, bear, well, I don't even know if I would call that bear market territory, but or major bear market territory. But down here, obviously, at the 1,375 level, roughly. Definitely not saying it's going down there at all, but that's just in case. So those are my, and because you're watching this for the first time on the Ainslie Bullion YouTube channel, just know that's where my big lines in the sand are, right there. So you've got that. Now let's look at moving higher. If we are moving higher, hopefully we are, because we're all in this to increase our wealth, or at least to balance our wealth, as we say here at Ainslie, balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. You want a little bit of exposure to precious metals, we think. If we are moving higher, the next lines in the sand, areas of resistance. I think this one would be taken out pretty quickly, actually, the 1800. I'll keep it in there for now. The next one, I should say, not the best one, the next one would be right here at 1850. So that would be a level of resistance. So what you would see on the weekly time frame, and as you can see right here, this trend line moving down, which has yet to be touched, it is yet to be tested. You could see, actually, yeah, you could see, no, actually, see, I do a lot of this on the fly. I could actually see 1800 as a level of resistance, because if you can see it right there, and let me push in, as you can see it right there on the weekly, yeah, right, okay. So what are we? We're on Tuesday now, so we've got a number of days to go during the week. If potentially it takes next week in order for us to come up to 1800, well, that smacks right up against this trend line right here. So you could see that as a level of resistance, but the next level of resistance moving higher would be this one here at 1850. So what you could pretty easily see is, if we're moving up higher, that is a test of around about 1850, and then a retest of this trend line. As I said, see, it works on the macro as it works on the micro as well. So testing of trend lines, break out, have a test. Breakout to 1850 maybe, and maybe we have a test, or maybe it's a breakout to, there's 1850 right there, breakout to 1850 and maybe have a retest. So those are my targets, and the interim targets, and let's do the blue sky thinking on the opposite way. When we did it for the bearish case, let's do the quick bullish case. The next levels, major levels of resistance, breaking through 1850, you're going to be looking at obviously $1,920. That's a big one. That's an area of resistance there. But it was also, when you go back here, the big all-time high back in August of 2011 of 1920. So that would definitely be some kind of area of resistance. And moving higher from 1850, of course, you've got the all-time high of 2,075 US dollars. Do we talk about the real blue sky thinking? Look, I'll just pull this out into the monthly time frame, and you can at least look at the trend line right there. I think that would be a big one. I think most of you who are into looking at the prices very much can see this trend line as being a major trend line, and of course being resistance at some point right there. So I'll leave it at that. That's basically the blue sky thinking for gold. Later on down the track, I think I'll do a big macro, gold prediction or something like that for 2023 or 2022, something like that. But that's just my interim targets. Okay, that is gold. Let's quickly move to silver, and then we'll get on to Ethereum, which is again in the news today. Silver, this is on the monthly time frame. I'll get rid of that for a second just so you can see it nice and cleanly. Would you say this is in a bull market still, a bear market, or would you say that it is consolidating? Let me know your thoughts. Again, put a comment below in the info section of the YouTube page, not in the info section, in the comment section, or what you can really do is join us on Discord as well. So I'll get that Discord channel up in a second, and that is discord.gg/gold. So if you're into Discord, if you know what it is, join us there to continue the conversation. You can ask me some questions, etc. But do you think silver is in a bull market still, or are we going down further? Again, we don't give financial advice here at Ainslie, but some people would make the case that it is still in a bull. Let's take a look at it on the weekly time frame, and of course you have this big level of $50 back in April of 2011, a move all the way back down to $11.70. When was that? March in 2020. What was happening then? Well, we know, and since a huge rise. Let's take a look at that rise right there. Price range, that was a massive movement. So we're talking 155% in US dollar terms. 156% move from March to, what's it, about February, I think it is. July. Sorry, July of 2020. March 2020 to July of 2020. 150%. Did you get this move? Did you get in around about this kind of area in March? Did you see the black swan and take it for a black swan event, and did you load up? If you did, don't tell us because we don't want to know. But if you want to tell us anonymously, you can, of course, post a comment below. So 150%. Since then, a healthy retracement, I would call that. See, let me just double check that again. What's that? Down. So I wouldn't call that a crash at all. That's down about 40%. That's about the same for platinum. If you look at my video from yesterday, which was a product spotlight, and I'll put a link above right now to the Perth Mint 2022 Kangaroos. I did a quick price analysis of platinum, and it was a similar event. There was a huge rise and then around about a 40% retracement. So you don't call that a crash. That's just a healthy retracement in my humble opinion. So let's have a look at the targets moving down and the targets moving higher. If we are moving down further, the line in the sand, the next one right here, is at $16.20 roughly. You can see how it intersects with a few levels of resistance right there, and probably a couple of levels of support as well. There's a little support right there, resistance, support, where are we? Resistance right there. So I would say 16.20, and moving down from 16.20, geez, let's pop it in. This is how I do it, just so you know. You get your horizontal line tool on tradingview.com, and you use the crosshairs, and you just find where there are multiple levels of support or resistance. So look, you could very easily say, if you put it around about this kind of $14 level, would that make sense? Let's see, or maybe even, no, around about your $14.50 level. I think I'm going to pop that in right there. And what you can see when you go back in history, you can see that's a level of support. Kind of level of support. It was a failed breakdown. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. Support right there, kind of support-ish around that general kind of $13 to $14.50 kind of level. Resistance there. So I think breaking down, if we were to break down in, the next few weeks and the next few months, breaking through 16.20 would be a level of around about $14.40. Again, this is US dollar terms. And breaking down from there, look, of course, you've got that level of $11.70, but gee, I think that would be probably taken out pretty quickly too. And the next one is, we're not even going to talk about that, but that's right, like your $9 under your $10 range. So I'm going to say line in the sand for me at the moment for the bearish case for silver in the next weeks and months would be $14.50. I think would be around about your lowest. But again, not financial advice. Let's talk about the higher targets. Your next level that we need to break through is at your $22 level. We're right in between. As you can see, 22 US dollars, a significant level of support for a while, all the way back to, again, that July timeframe, around about your July-September of 2020 timeframe. So nearly a couple of years worth of $22 support, which was broken right here, and that was in May, just recently, all the way back down here. So you're going to see 22 as a level of resistance, and up from there, if we break through 22, you're going to be looking at $23.70, you're going to be looking at $25.80, roughly. That's that sort of infamous $25.80, infamous $26 level, which we had not broken for a very, very long time, and then it did break down. But that $26 level, and you've got $30 right there, and $35, and of course the all-time high of $50. Where do you think it's going to go from the all-time high? So if we do eventually break the all-time high in silver of 50 US dollars, where do you think it's going to next after that? Do you think it's an SHTF kind of scenario where if it's going to go to 50, if it's going to break 50, it's because something else as big is going on in the world and that we're going to just shoot, to triple-digit silver really soon? Or are you a little bit more conservative and you think, well, there's certain resistance points, Fibonacci lines, Elliott wave, technical indicators? Give me your thoughts again, either in the comment section of the YouTube video or hop on Discord. Again, I'll put a link below in the info section of the YouTube page and as part of the pinned comment. That is silver. All right, let's get to Ethereum. So again, this was written by Josh Lang this morning. It's posted on the ainslieBullion.com website in the news section right here. So what happens, just if you're new to Ainslie, what happens every single weekday is that the daily news gets added. Most of the time it's just general economic based and with a bent of or a filter through precious metals, so gold and silver, etc. But on Tuesdays, it's Crypto Tuesdays. So Josh Lang, one of our residents here, he does a great review of something crypto related. So this is everything you need to know about the merge, the Ethereum merge, which is coming up. I won't go through it myself. You can just read it. I'll put a link below. You can read that yourself. But it's basically talking about what is the Ethereum merge, and goes into a few technicals of what that is, and also what does this mean for the price of Ethereum. There could be a case to be made that Josh mentions it somewhere here. It could be a bit of a buy on the rumor, sell on the news. So are we seeing a pump in Ethereum right now in the anticipation of the merge coming, and then will there be a retracement from there? I think that's probably a good case to be made for that. Well, there is a good case to be made for that. But let's take a look at Ethereum. Are you in the cryptocurrencies as well? Do you tread both lines? Do you have both precious metals and cryptocurrency? As I said, I've been in precious metals, physical precious metals, since 2010, and I've been in crypto personally since 2013. So I do straddle both lines. I know some people, you either love one or love the other, but I think there's a good case to be made for, having a little bit of both. But let's take a look at Ethereum. This is on the weekly time frame. We'll do a quick bit of macro analysis right here. Of course, did you get in down here when Ethereum was kind of like Bitcoin was back in 2009? Ooh, imagine that. You're probably not watching this video. If you are, you're probably, well, it depends when you sold or if you sold, but you could be lying on a beach somewhere. But of course, it opened, it had a bottoming of $6 in 2016, that big rise back up to, over $1,300, the big consolidation back down to $80, and then recently of November of 2021, the peak of nearly $5,000. We're talking, what's that? Yeah, just under $5,000. A nice retracement back down. And let's see how far we've retraced. See, an 80% retracement. Very, very common in the cryptoverse. Very common for 80 to 90% retracements from all-time highs. Do you think that's it for Ethereum? Are we heading higher? Again, put a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are, or head on to the Discord to continue the conversation. And you can see this trend line right here. I'm going to pop on the daily time frame. And you can see that that trend line has recently been broken. So a lot of this is based on, again, buying the rumor. A lot of demand because of the ETH merge that is apparently coming up very, very soon. So you have this big trend line right here. This is going through April of 2022, another little point there of May in 2022, and right here just recently at the end of July, it has finally broken through. And what do we say? We say that it doesn't happen every time, but a lot of the time when you break through, you have a retest. So if, for example, we have a couple of red days, this is on the daily time frame, if we have a couple of red days in Ethereum, I wouldn't be stressed out just yet that we are going to see way, way lower prices and then we're just heading back down, because you tend to break out and have a retest. Now, the question I guess some people might say, and I'll pop this out here, has that already occurred? I don't know. Let's take a look at that. I'll move that a little bit right there, and let's pop this into maybe the 4-hourly. And could that case be made that the retest has already occurred? That's a good question. What do you think? I'm going to say, it's actually quite possible, because you've had the resistance right here, resistance here, failed breakout, fast move to the downside. That's almost a retest, but I'm going to treat it on the daily time frame like it's not a retest just yet. So if we do come back down here, don't be surprised. Okay, that could be just a retest and then a bounce back off. But let's take a look at the bear case and the bull case in the interim time frame. So I'll get my horizontal lines out right here. What are the next levels moving down that we need to consider? Well, on the interim, of course, I'm going to, as I said before, this trend line right here. So if we did that in the next couple of days, you'd be looking at coming down to around about 1,660 US dollars, something like that. Breaking down further from there, I would think that would be taken out, that 1550 level would be taken out pretty quickly. And I would suggest, yeah, you're going to be looking around about here. Can you see where they intersect? See those crosshairs? I'll put in the line right there. You can see a sort of local area of support. A lot of the time you don't count wicks down as major significant levels of support or resistance because they're quick movements. Okay, you kind of look at where a price has been grouping. So you can see it's been grouping around about that 1430 level, 1430 level, and you can see there's actually an area of resistance, a wick resistant area of wick resistance right here too. So I'd say 1430 is going to be your level of support that you would want to hold. Breaking down from there, very clear, and I think you guys can all see it right here, is this kind of rough level here of around about $1,250 would be your next line in the sand. Breaking down from there, well, you're going to be looking at, again, this kind of level here. You can see those three spikes there, 1, 2, 3, and that's at, look, that's a $1,011, so call it $1,000, even your psychological barrier of $1,000. And if we're going in mega bear case, because some people are making the case for, and I'll show you here, and I'll just get rid of these lines for a second so you can see it more clearly. This is the 3-month chart of Ethereum. And some people on Twitter and other places, you've got to spread your research around, are suggesting that maybe the 3-month candle will be green, but the next 3-month candle is going to be a downward candle, and maybe 2 3-month candles. So there are people who are making the case for a bearish case in the next 6 months, roughly 6 to 9 months. And so if that were the case, let's take a look at what the next targets would be. Actually, I'll get rid of that. There we go. Horizontal line. I think the easy case to be made, and I'll pop that there, breaking down this again, this is the 3 monthly candle. So every candle is a 3-month time frame. Breaking down from there, what do you guys think? I think if it is here at 700, I think that is too close to this level right here of 880. So I think it would have to come down lower, and I think roughly that seems to coincide very well, and it's a nice even number as well. Kind of your 500 to 550 kind of level. Let's pop it in at just around about your sort of $500 mark. That would be a big line in the sand for me personally, is your $500 level. And if we break through there, I think you can see that little spike right there. And I might even put it a little bit lower. So you're talking around about, you see how it sort of groups around that $288 level? I'm going to call that just an even, let's call it an even 300. So maybe line in the sand there for me personally. Again, this is not financial advice, and it's not the opinion of Ainslie Bullion or Ainslie Wealth or Gold Silver Standard, but your lines in the sand, $500 and I'd say $300. I couldn't see it moving any lower than that, but you know, hey, stranger things have happened in the big city. That is the bear case. Let's look for the bull case, because there are others who are saying, oh no, we are in the next few months, because of the ETH merge and buying the rumor and the demand for it, we could be actually, and some people are claiming that we could be breaking all-time high really, really soon. So what would be the next targets if that is the case? So you have your previous high of around about your $5,000 level. What I would do in this case to find tops, you can do, and you know, the thing is with finding tops, can we ever really find the true top? I think very, very few people in the world have been able to actually pick proper tops, but you know, we can just try it ourselves. Of course, you'd be looking at a major trend line, and you'd be looking at this one right here. Of course, right there, that's a pretty obvious one, I would suggest. That looks a little bit too close to the previous all-time high to be the top, but you need to keep this one in mind, because it could be a local area of resistance when we break the all-time high in Ethereum. So that would just depend on when it hits. So let's say if it hit in October, what's that, October 17th right there, that would be a level of around about your $6,820 level. Again, could be the complete top, could be, you know, once we hit this trend line at some point, that could be the top for a while. If it's not though, let's take a look at, I would do some Fibonacci analysis too. Really, really quick fib stuff. And I'm going to take from this high and this low. Now you may have a different choice of Fibonacci starting and end points, the top and bottom points, the 1s and the 0 points. So you may disagree with me, and if you do, please let me know how you disagree and tell me why. Put a comment below or find us in the Discord channel, discord.gg/gold. And right here, I think the 1.618 Fibonacci level would be a decent area of resistance. If you're familiar with Fibonacci analysis, you know that the 1.618 level is usually a pretty good indicator for a top. Doesn't work every single time. It's usually the 1.618 or the 2.618 I've found. If you disagree, place a comment below. But that would put it at around about your $7,400 level. So comfortably, let's say, and of course you've got the big psychological value as well. I've got to put it in just because it's there, and we're all thinking about it. We've all been talking about it at one point, particularly when we were in this huge bull case in Ethereum. Everyone's talking $10,000 Ethereum and all that. So let's just pop that in, the psychological value. And I know there's a lot of lines here, so it's getting a little bit confusing. But what you can see here is that Fibonacci level of 7,400 and the $10,000 psychological value. So let me just say, if we are going great guns and we're going to break the all-time high in Ethereum really, really soon, let's say within the next 6 months, my personal target, it's a big range, but I think it's somewhere in between your 7,400 and your $10,000 range. Again, it's a big range when you look at it in a dollar value, but then when you look at it from the whole chart, it's not that huge. It's only between there and there. So I think that's a decent range to give. Again, not financial advice, my personal opinion, and we could certainly head lower in the next few months as well. So you've got the cases moving lower and you've got the cases moving higher. The last thing I wanted to do, and I will get rid of that, is let's take a quick look at a little bit of Elliott wave. Now I'm just going to put this on the 3 month right here, and I will, there we go, beautiful. So I'm not going to draw it in. I'll just get rid of those lines, and we'll just talk about Elliott wave. So Elliott wave, if you're familiar with it, or let me say, if you're not familiar with it, it's a pattern of 5 waves. This is the really, really basic version. You have a 1 wave up, wave 2 down, a wave 3 up, a wave 4 down, and then a final wave 5 up. And in general, the wave 5 is not as large as the wave 3. Generally, doesn't always happen, but the wave 3 is typically the longest wave within the 5 waves. And then the 5th wave does rise above the previous all-time high, but it doesn't go crazy. It rises just a little bit above. And so I think, have a look at that. I mean, look, you've got that's a very clear 1, I think, a very clear 2, a very clear 3, a very clear 4, and potentially a wave 5, and around about this kind of area. You're looking in your sort of your 7,000s, your 8,000s, your 9, your 10,000s right there. So if you were a believer in Elliott wave theory, and if you thought this was a perfect Elliott wave pattern, then a case could be made, I guess, to say that the sort of $7,500 to $10,000 level would be a nice level for the 5th wave of an Elliott wave to play out. And if that was playing out, and we're on the 3 monthly time frame, you'd be looking at, ballparking it, kind of the middle, around the sort of the middle of next year-ish is when that wave might play out, maybe between sort of April and June roughly. Again, not giving any kind of call for Ethereum like that. That's just the what-if scenarios. So that is it. That was gold, silver, and Ethereum. Again, I do this every single week. Every single week on Gold and Silver Standard Insights is TA Tuesdays. So I will always look at gold, I will always look at silver, and then I might change in between. I'll probably take a look at Bitcoin next week, because there's a lot going on in the Bitcoin market as well. Oh yeah, I want to talk about that next week for sure. Plus, do you have a specific crypto that you want looked at, or do you have a metal, platinum, rhodium even maybe, palladium? Do those interest you? Put a comment below, or let us in the YouTube page, or let us know on Discord as well. So you really want to hit the big red subscribe button right here to join us here at Ainslie Bullion. A lot of stuff coming up. Of course, we do our weekly product spotlights. We do our topics of the week. We talk about crypto. We talk about economic news. We talk about gold and silver, of course, and a lot more coming up on the channel. So really, really pays to subscribe right here. And of course, head over to the Discord channel. I'll put a link below to that to continue the conversation today. I'll be on Discord for the next hour or so after this video is released, or you can just chat with all the other people who are on Discord who are like-minded individuals. That is it. Thank you very much for watching. Head over to Gold Silver Standard as well, because that is bringing gold and silver into the digital world, and this is the Gold and Silver Standard Insights, proudly brought to you by Ainslie Bullion as well. And if you want your bullion, head over to ainslieBullion.com.au. That is enough spruiking. My name is Joe. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.